We are recording.
Okay, it's time to get started.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to our CUFA Town Hall, Navigating Housing and Utility Assistance. My name is Andrea Baker. I'm a member of Communities United for Action, and I also participate in our sewer justice team and our housing action team. I will be your host this evening. Connie Hollins will be our timekeeper. Hi, Connie. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. And Nina Caporal will be monitoring our chat for our audience questions. How you doing, Nina?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah.
I'm doing fine.
That's fine.
Okay, let's get started, everyone. Here's some housekeeping protocol. Please mute yourself when you are not speaking to minimize the background noise and distractions, please. The microphone button will mute and unmute you if you are on Zoom. If you are on a phone without a mute button, *6 mutes and unmutes. We have a lot to cover this evening, and we want to get you out on time. We will have 15 minutes for questions at the end and limited time during speaker. So we need you to keep questions direct and concise to give time for everyone's questions. If you have already asked a live question, give other people a chance to ask questions before you ask another. For those of you on Zoom, you can put your questions in the chat for our speakers. For anyone watching on Facebook, please put your questions in
That's annoying.
the comments. Let's get started. Our first speaker is Cathy Bailey, the Executive Director of Greater Cincinnati Water Works, and Dr. Erica King Betts, Strategy and Performance Manager for GCWW. Good evening, Cathy. Good evening, Dr. Erica. How are you both?
Good evening. How are you all doing today? I bring you greetings from Greater Cincinnati Water Works. I'm joined today by with our CFO, Ms. Pam Chandler. Unfortunately, Executive Director Bailey was unable to attend this evening. So we have the honor of presenting information about Greater Cincinnati Water Works' economic forgiveness program. So I'm going to share my screen, and we have prepared a PowerPoint presentation to go over with you this evening that details more about our program. Greater Cincinnati Water Works, our economic hardship water debt forgiveness program, it kicked off in November of 2020. Our mayor, John Cranley, as well as our city manager, Paula Boggs-Muthing, and our executive director, Cathy Bailey, they kicked this program off at our River Station. This program is also known as the Forgiveness Program, and it's helping our customers to avoid water shutoffs in their homes. Who's eligible for this program? Customers must demonstrate that they are experiencing an economic hardship related to COVID-19 or be below specific income levels. So people have asked me, what are some of these economic hardships that people are experiencing? It could be a loss of a job. It could be mounting medical bills as a result of COVID-19. And the specific income levels, we are working individuals who are at or below 200% poverty. So for example, for a household of one, that would be anyone who's earning $25,520 or less, or family of four, for example, would be any family that's earning less than $52,400. And all of these income limits are on our application, so you don't have to worry about writing those numbers down right now. So we are forgiving any amounts that were incurred between March 1st and September the 30th. So if you have a past due amount on your water or your stormwater services during that time, and you meet the eligibility requirements of either experiencing an economic hardship or being below specific income levels, you could have that debt forgiven. So who's included in this? This program is for residential property owners. So this is single and two family dwellings. Commercial properties do not qualify for this program. This program is also for tenants who are responsible for their utility bill. Once a customer qualifies for the program, it could take up to 6 weeks for us to process this information and for the customer to see this change on their bill. So where can people find applications? We wanted to make sure that the applications are available in several different locations. So it can be located online, and the website's provided there, www.forgive.mygcww.org. But we're also aware that everyone isn't savvy and everyone does not have access to a computer. So applications can also be requested by calling Greater Cincinnati Water Works as well at that phone number that's provided, that 513-591-7700, and a customer service representative will mail an application to you. We've also reached out to our public libraries as well as the rec centers, and there are applications that are available there as well to be picked up. And those applications can either be mailed back to us, or they can be dropped off in our secure lockbox outside of the front door at Greater Cincinnati Water Works. We also ensure that applications are available in English as well as Spanish translation. So there are 3 ways that you can send these applications back to us. You can go tonight and you can fill out the application online and you can submit it online, or you can choose to email the application to us to this forgive@mygcww.org, or you can mail back your completed application, or as I mentioned before, you can drop it off here at this location as well. How are we doing since November 1st in terms of providing assistance to our customers? The last time we looked at this data was this afternoon, and we have forgiven $293,389.85 to date. The average amount that has been forgiven for each of these customers is $194.04. Originally, we thought it might take us up to 6 weeks to complete the process of writing off these debts. It's actually only taking us 9 days. So customers are able to see this relief within 9 days of submitting an application to us. So to date, we have had 1,512 customers who have benefited from the forgiveness program. But we know that there are more. So here is a breakdown by municipality as to, where we are helping customers. So in the city of Cincinnati, and we know that the city of Cincinnati is made up of 52 neighborhoods. So far within those 52 neighborhoods, $148,175.89 has been forgiven for customers who reside inside of the city of Cincinnati, well, the city limits. Forest Park, approximately 12,000. Colerain Township, 25,340. And Springfield Township, 29,220. And then I see North College Hill at 14,000. So those are the communities that have accessed the forgiveness program the most to date. But we know that there's still residents who are eligible in these respective communities, and we want people to apply. Since we talked about there's $148,175 that has been forgiven in the city of Cincinnati, we did a further breakdown so that we could look at the respective neighborhoods to see, what are the neighborhoods where people are, where people are applying for the program. We can see that there are several community members from West Price Hill, that have applied: Westwood, College Hill, East Price Hill, and Bond Hill. Those are the top neighborhoods where customers have engaged Greater Cincinnati Water Works, and they have received assistance for their accounts. But we know that there are still more people who are in need of assistance, and we want to reach them. And this is where we could use your help as well as others' help to help spread the word. If you're on social media, if you could share information about the program so that others can know more about it. Pass information on to your clients, your family, your friends, your church members, your, just anyone you know who may be in need of assistance. You can always print, share forth the application to other community partners as well. If you're with an organization, you can upload the application to your organization's website so that others, can go there to find out more information about the program. We're also very active on social media. So you could retweet the information that we have out on Twitter about the program, as well as information is posted on Facebook as well. I believe I saw a post on the 1st of this month. So you could also share that information with your friends and family as well. So does anyone have any questions for me? I know that's a lot of information all at one time. So I'm here and available to answer any questions that you might have. And I've also provided my contact information here so that if you have a question that comes up, or if you need me to send you an application, I am more than willing to do that. So thank you so very much for your time.
Cathy, we had saved some time at the end of our town hall for questions, but since we do have 2 minutes left, if anyone does have a question for Cathy, you have just one time to do it, and that's now. Only one question, please. 2 minutes.
May I speak, please? Pamela J. Adams.
Yes.
Okay. I understand you said the one household of 25,500 or less. What about a household of 2? I worked on that with CUFA, and it was just a little bit off to me. For a household of 2, they were saying something like we started off with giving up $30,000 for a household with 2 or 2 retired people, which I thought it should have been a little bit higher, considering that 2 seniors have retired. Okay, I can code. 2 seniors have retired. Everybody got their own income. Then you got 2 seniors also that's drawing on Social Security that would put them over. But considering everything that they have to pay, their medical, prescription, and everything, is there any adjustment for that?
So what we use is the federal poverty guidelines, which is the 200% below poverty. And for a household of 2, the number is $34,400. So for a household of 2, if those 2 individuals are making less than that, then they would qualify for the program based on a hardship due to income.
Okay, thank you very much. We have to move on, and don't forget.
Short question.
Can't answer it right now. Can you wait? We want to stay on time. Next, we are going to have the low income senior homeowner sewer discount with Diana Christie, the director of Metropolitan Sewer District, and Cassandra Hillary, Policy and Government Affairs Manager, MSD. And please don't forget to put yourself on mute. Thank you very much. Diana, Cassandra.
Thank you all. My name is Cassandra Hillary, and I'm with the Metropolitan Sewer District. I'm here to talk to you a little bit this evening about the Customer Assistance Program. I am the CAP manager for the program. I took over the program as of February of this year. The previous manager retired, so I took over the program. I do have a slide and I was trying to share it. Let's see.
You in, babe?
Can
Did
you
you
see
go
it?
to Zoom?
Excuse me, can you
Yeah.
please mute yourself? Please mute yourself.
Okay. Do you all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Our customer assistance program was enacted in April of 2019 as a revision to MSD's rate structure. We created a special customer classification for seniors, which provided a 25% discount on the senior sewer bill if they were eligible. The program is based upon Ohio law, and it's in order to be eligible, you must be 65 years of age and above. Other criteria for the program is based on the Ohio Homestead, which says the income level must be at $34,200 for a household of 2 or less. And you must own and live in the residence for which you are paying the sewer bill. There is an annual renewal process required. And this is because we know things change on an annual basis. People move or what have you. So during the month of November, we try to send out a letter to the customer, letting them know that they'll have to renew in order to be eligible for the next year. Currently, we have about 1,850 customers enrolled in the CAP program. And this has been since the inception when it started in 2019. If the CAP program were to be expanded to people 65 and below, then it would require a statutory change. MSD nor the Board of County Commissioners have the authority to change the statute. There are a couple of ways to apply for the CAP application. One being you can apply online at www.msdgc.org/CAP. And currently we are aware that the link for the application, we are having some technical difficulties, but we are working to get that fixed as soon as possible. Another way you can apply is you can email the application to us. There is a writable PDF on the website that you can download, fill in your information, and attach all of the support and documentation to it, such as proof of age and proof of income. And you can email all of that back to us. If that doesn't work for you, you can also mail the application in to the CAP manager, which is myself, at 1600 Guest Street. And I know some elderly customers, they may not be tech savvy. So if they have any problems with any of this, you can also contact me via telephone at 513-244-5101. And that's all I have for tonight. Are there any questions?
Roy, I do think you have something from CUFA as one of our board members. You had a question? Roy Davis?
Can you hear me? Roy Davis?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm Roy Davis. I'm a executive board member of CUFA. I think I understood, but I'm going to ask the question. Will you put notifications on every water and sewer bill about the low income for seniors, the discount program? And the second part is, I'm a low income senior, renter, and I understand that the program could currently help seniors renters who pay their water bill, that will open the program to those seniors such as myself.
Okay, I didn't hear the first part of your question. I'm sorry, it was really loud and.
I apologize. I think you did cover it, but I had to say, will you put notifications on every water sewer bill about the lower income to senior discount program?
Well, we try to put ads on the water bills a couple of times a year. And right now, as I understand it, the next ad will be on the water bill that goes out in March. And then we have one that's scheduled for May, July, September, and November.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see ads on the bills for those particular months.
Yes, ma'am. Now I have a part two to that. Since I'm a lower income senior renter, I understand that the program could currently help seniors renters who pay their water bill, and will open the program to such people as I.
Right now, the way the program is set up, it's based on home ownership due to the homestead rules.
Mm-hmm.
So it does not apply to renters. You must be a homeowner.
And I understand that. So is it possible that a door could be open for such a thing? To help seniors like myself that pay water bill?
The way the program currently is set up, it does not apply to renters.
I understand that, but is there a way that the program could be set up for people like myself?
That's something that would have to be discussed with the board, but the way it's currently set up, it's not set up for renters.
All right. I think we answered each other's question, but I'm
Okay,
still.
thank you, Roy. Thank you very much. I do believe we have another CUFA board member, which is Willie. You have a question, Willie?
Yes. My question is for our question is for Ms. Christie. Will you put notifications on every water/sewer bill about the sewer backup response program? We were told by Mayor Cramley that it would be in every bill.
That's something we would have to discuss with the Greater Cincinnati Water Works. As I understand that there are competing things that have to be put on the water bill. So I don't know if it'll be on every bill, but that's something we can discuss. Because there's only so much real estate on a bill where you can put information like that. So we would have to discuss what's more important, which is more important, to have the senior discount program or to have other things on there.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Chillery. Now, at this time, we have something fun going on. We have at this time a door prize. So Allison, can you help us with that?
Yes. So if you RSVP'd, I put your name in a basket and I'm going to choose one. I have Barbara Baines.
Barbara, are you on?
She is. Barbara. You're muted, Barbara.
And what did she win?
Whoops. There you go.
Here.
I think there we go.
Congratulations, Barbara Baines.
That's good enough.
Yes.
What did she win? What's the prize?
What's the prize? What, free water bill for a year?
It's a $25 Visa card. So Barbara, we'll send that to you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, that was our commercial break. Now,
okay.
Back to our town hall. At this time, we have Foreclosures and Rental Assistance by Zach Fry, Staff Attorney for Legal Aid Society of Greater Cincinnati. Take it away, Zach.
Hey, thank you so much. Tough to follow that one up, but thank you so much to all of you for having me tonight. Yes, I am Zach Fry, and I'm a staff attorney at Legal Aid, and I am in the Housing and Consumer Practice Group. So my practice focuses on eviction and foreclosure defense, and so I spend a lot of my time in eviction court nowadays, helping tenants avoid eviction and assist them in applying for rental assistance. So I'm going to just touch real briefly on rental assistance and mortgage assistance that's currently available, and some kind of general guidance for tenants and homeowners as far as receiving assistance and how legal aid can help. I don't have a PowerPoint, but I am going to put in the chat right now a link to legal aid's guide on our website to rental assistance, as well as some information on the eviction moratorium.
You got muted.
Oh.
Somehow. Oh.
I think I muted myself. Okay, should be back now. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to cover both rental assistance and kind of take the two, rental assistance and mortgage assistance, and take the two in turn. So for tenants who are behind on rent, so legal aid can assist tenants who have court papers with an eviction court date from the court, and assist with both potentially representation on the hearing and with referrals for rental assistance. So the rental assistance programs available, we're typically referring folks to Community Action Agency and to Hamilton County for their CARES Act funds available. And I will let other speakers, Matt and Kevin, kind of go into more depth about those programs, but it's kind of high level sort of to get a sense of what's out there. Community Action Agency has the Ohio Home Relief Grant, in which tenants who have experienced a COVID-related hardship can apply for rental assistance going back to April of 2020 that meet certain qualifications. So what legal aid can help with is if you have court papers, call us. Our numbers on that link that I dropped, but it's 513-241-9400. And ask for housing intake. So I referenced those two rental assistance programs. And another thing I wanted to really emphasize with for tenants is that you may have heard about the eviction moratorium that was issued by the CDC. And I think there's some sort of maybe a little bit of confusion about what that exactly means and what you need to do to be covered by that. So one thing that I really want to emphasize is that it's not an automatic protection. The CDC issued a temporary halt in evictions for non-payment of rent, currently through March 31st, with possibility that it gets extended. But in order to be covered by that, you need to sign a declaration that you meet certain elements. Basically that you had a loss of household income or some increase in medical expenses, that you made less than $98,000, I believe it is, in 2020, that you're making partial payments to your landlord as your circumstances allow, and that if you were to be evicted, that you would become homeless or need to double up. The form's in the link that I sent in the chat, but that form is something you have to fill out and give to your landlord. Now, if the landlord says, well, no, you don't qualify for this, you don't meet all these requirements, they can still file an eviction in court. And if you get that court date, you need to show up to court, because the landlord can question you, or the landlord's attorney can question you as to whether or not you meet the part of the requirements of the CDC moratorium, meaning the halt in evictions, is that you're making best efforts to get help on your rent. So when we talk about this Community Action Agency and JFS and the other agencies that are doing rental assistance, keep a record of all of those efforts that you're making, because you keep a record of when you contacted them, who you called, what they told you, because that's part of documenting that you're making those best efforts to get help on your rent. And I'm sure Matt and Kevin will go into more detail about sort of the logistics of applying. I'm going to touch real briefly on mortgage assistance, and I definitely want to make sure I leave time for questions. So for mortgage assistance, in addition to Community Action Agency, which also through the Home Relief Grant currently is accepting applications for mortgage assistance, Legal Aid has some funding available through our Emergency Mortgage Assistance Program, which can assist for up to $3,000 towards mortgage debt. That include property taxes, HOA fees, kind of a whole range of homeowner-related expenses. And so, in addition to referrals over to Community Action Agency, if you are a homeowner who had a COVID-related or otherwise hardship and you're behind, contact Legal Aid 513-241-9400, ask for housing intake. And we can assess your case from there. And so there's some you may have heard about, there's all different sources of funding that have been, one that was approved by Congress in December that is just kind of now being distributed and getting set up, that will kind of have some new requirements, and I'll defer to Matt and Kevin on that. But so really, I think my big points here, the big takeaways here is, so if you're a tenant and you're behind and you've got court papers, call Legal Aid, serve the CDC declaration on your landlord, make sure you keep records of everything. And one thing I maybe didn't emphasize enough, that CDC declaration I referred to, file that with the court as well if you've got court papers. For mortgage assistance, call Legal Aid, in addition to the other agencies that I mentioned. So that's kind of the big picture and what I have. And I just want to, thank everyone again, and kind of, if anyone has any questions, please, I'll drop my contact information, in the chat. But if you have questions now or during the later portion of the session tonight, please let me know.
Okay, thank you very much, Zachary. If you have any questions, please write them down until the end. We would really appreciate it. We would like to stay on schedule. Our next speaker is Kevin Holtz, the Director of Ohio Means and Jobs, Cincinnati, Hamilton County. Kevin?
Good evening, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks for having me tonight.
Okay, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. I can share a screen, but before I do that, I'm going to just run through a few things. We've got a lot of resources at Job and Family Services, and a lot of them are traditional, but there are a lot of new resources as well, some of which we've touched on already briefly, but I wanted to highlight a couple things in particular. We'll distribute something like $7 million in PRC funds this year. So that can certainly cover water bills. It can cover rent, it can cover Duke, it can cover baby items, furniture, gas cards, COBRA cards. It's flexible money. It's traditionally been available, but it's limited to people with minor children in the home. That can be obviously parents, but it can also be grandparents. It can be aunts and uncles, people who have taken custody formally or informally of relatives. That's a great resource. It's an easy application. It's online. I've got a link I'm going to share with you in a minute. All of our applications now for both this and the CARES application are online. We're doing our very best to make those really easy for folks to use. You don't have to go to Kinko's. You don't have to make copies. You don't have to use an ink signature and find a scanner somewhere. Secondly, and I think part of the reason I'm here tonight is we do have access to CARES Act dollars. Zach made reference, thank you, Zach. That is today about $500,000. In a couple of weeks, it'll be $15 million. And we've got to spend a lot of that money really quickly on families who really meet one criteria. Well, there's a few criteria, but the big distinguishing characteristic is they've suffered a financial loss because of COVID or the broader COVID economy. Somebody lost a job, or they lost child support, or they had their hours reduced, or they had their wages dropped, or anything like that. We'll need some documentation of a financial loss, but given that, we can cover up to $5,000 in, again, rent, utility. Well, no, specifically in this case, rent and utilities. We can't, contrary to the earlier program that was described, we cannot cover mortgage, but we can cover rent until the cows come home. Starting with the new CARES Act $2 that we're going to start working in April, we'll be able to pay up to 12 months of retroactive rent and up to 3 months of future rent. So it's a great deal. There's a great pile of money out there for families in need, individuals in need. With CARES, you don't have to have a child in the home. You can be a single individual, you could be a couple, you could have a dozen kids, you may still be eligible for CARES. That distinguishing characteristic, again, is that financial loss. Hamilton County resident. For CARES, that income level, it's got an income test, but it's quite generous. Family size of 3, for example, you can earn $50,000 a year and still be eligible for CARES assistance. It's a lot of money. So they're really doing their very best to meet families where they are and pull people into this and wipe away debts. We've had cases recently specific to Water Works where people will come to us with a bill for $3,000 in past due water and sewer. We'll pay it all off. It all just goes away. It's just a great feeling for families because they're not paying that bill anyway, but it's just riding on their back. So that's our effort in that program, is to meet those families, get that weight off of them, and also support these public institutions. Yeah, I could go on, but I'm going to briefly share a screen. And Allison, I think, has this material, this one. There you go. So I hope Allison can email it to y'all if you need it. Those links are live. So this one here to apply for CARES, this one here for PRC. And I think something that I don't talk about often enough, and I'm glad I wrote it down. If you're a landlord and you're working with tenants and you want them to have the benefit of these dollars and you want to get paid for the rent that they owe you, you sign up with us, you become a vendor for Hamilton County, and we can pay those dollars to you for that backload rent. You sign up for direct deposit and you don't have to wait nearly as long for that check. It's going straight into your bank account. So it's just a great way. Again, we're meeting customers. Somebody described this and I thought they described it well. These programs are for Hamilton County residents, but they're also for Hamilton County small businesses, whether that's auto repair shops or grocery stores or landlords. We're trying to support those small businesses and get them through this COVID emergency so we all come out on the other side. So I won't go on, but I wanted to say that.
Okay, thank you very much. Matt Strauss, Housing Policy Advocate with the Community Action Agency. Matt.
Hello, everybody. That is me, Matt Strauss.
Hi, Matt.
How are you guys? Don't answer that. You're all on mute. You're all on mute, right? So I have been with Community Action Agency about half a year. While I came over to do housing policy, mostly what I'm doing is helping people with eviction, foreclosure, and shutoff problems. So what does that mean with us? So we have got a lot of money in a lot of programs. You probably heard about some of the stuff we got going on. You probably heard about a lot of the problems we got going on. We have a huge backlog. That has been weighing us down for a while, but starting early last week, we moved 9 people into position to start dealing with that. And they're already cranking them out. We are also working with Talbot House to help us get through that that backlog. And of course, Zach and all the other guys over at Legal Aid are helping us quite a bit too. So what can we help with? I'm not even going to tell you the funding sources because we have so many of them. And honestly, you don't really need to know about the OHR, GCAA, CV, and CAR, all that. You don't care what it's called. You just need the money. So what I will tell you is that we can help with rent, mortgage, Duke, and water. And if no matter whether it's waterworks or if you're in a municipality that doesn't have waterworks, I see somebody's asking. My organization is a community action agency, and so we are also able to pay if you have to move because of COVID. We can help with first month's rent and deposit. So how do you get to this? Now, this is the part where I get to share my screen. I think, let me see here. It's not, oh, there it is. All right. So this is how you reach us. Don't do it yet. That number is not set up yet. I'll get to that in a minute. First, let me talk to you about eligibility. Like most of what people have been telling you, it's 80% or less of area median income. That's a chart below. That is all forms of income. You have to live in Hamilton County, and you have to have a COVID-related financial hardship. Now, that definition is firm, but it's also really broad. COVID-related can mean I've been out of work since before the pandemic, but I can't find work because of the pandemic. Or my parents, they can't get out of the house and they need help from me, so I got to pay them some of my, we're really broad about that. We'll work with you. So if you're worried that it's not COVID-related, don't let that stand in the way. We'll figure something out. Almost nobody that I've dealt with has been told that they don't qualify, except for folks who've called me from other counties. So what this number is not good yet. We just got it yesterday, and it will be set up next week. So call this number late next week. And what that will do is get you an appointment to talk with one of our folks, and they will set you up and they will go through an application process with you. We are able to pay things going back to April 1st of last year. So any bills that came from before April 1st, we cannot help you with. But if it started then and continued on, then we can help. The application will, when they are ready to take your application, I'm going to give you a little list of some of the things we will need from you. We will need a photo ID from the head of household. We will need social security cards or birth certificates or some other federal government document with your social security number on there for everybody in the household. However, we are able to work with folks who are undocumented. As long as there's one person in the household who is a citizen. And we will need proof of income for the last 30 days. So have those things ready when your appointment comes in. We can process that stuff pretty quickly. Yeah, just be ready for that. This will get you an appointment. But again, do not call this until about a week from now, when all of our systems are set up. And honestly, our staff will be better at this because we have a bunch of brand new funding sources. We're still figuring out, we're still putting new paperwork together for them. We're still trying to find out what is allowable and what isn't. And so right now we're just getting started on this. It's a little bit slow, but it will not be slow very soon. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I think I'm ready to take some questions, or I guess we all are.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt. Before we go on to the questions, I have one more announcement to make. As stated before, we only have about 14 more minutes for questions. Please keep your questions and answers concise so everyone who wants to ask a question will have a chance. Thank you very much. Now, are there any questions in Zoom? Are there any questions on chat in Zoom?
Yes.
Nina?
There was a question from Mary asking Kevin Holt if he has a phone number for the Jobs and Family Services programs.
That's a good question. In theory, yes. You could call 946-7200 for CARES or PRC. I wouldn't. I think that's a terrible way to try to communicate with us because you're not going to get the best information. I would strongly encourage you to send an email to me, and I will get your question to exactly the right person. Whether it's about a particular application or a method or an eligibility topic, I'll make sure you get an answer and it'll come back to you quickly. So if I may, I'll put my email in the chat, but it is kevin.holt@jfs.ohio.gov.
Please do. Thank you, Kevin. And I believe the question then was the document can be posted someplace, and immediately I believe Allison shared the link to that document for Jobs and Family Services. And then Matt answered the question about his organization affiliation, and I believe that's the end of the questions in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Allison, are there any questions posted to Facebook?
I don't see any.
Okay.
I'll keep refreshing.
Okay, since we have about 10 minutes, is there anybody that is on our Zoom that would like to ask a question that didn't put it in chat?
I would. This is Deborah Sims.
Yes.
To Water Works. Are they there?
We're here.
Are people from the Water Works still there?
Yes, yes, she's here. She's waiting on your question.
I wanted to ask you about, I got a letter in the mail. Okay, I got a letter from in the mail about having a new meter and that you all hadn't been reading it. So I wonder what that was about. Was it because of the winter weather you decided that you weren't going to read my meter? And you said if I haven't paid enough, I will have to make up the payment. But if I paid too much, then what? Could you explain to me why you did not read my meter?
I can take that. Yes, on top of your meter, there's two parts. One part's the meter, which actually monitors how much water or flow goes through.
No.
The other part is actually a transmitter. So when our trucks drive by in your neighborhood, your meter will transmit what your reading is. But a lot of times the transmitter goes back. So what they're saying is, for however, I don't know how long you said, but for so long, we've been going by and we couldn't pick up a reading for your meter. So they would like to come in, our representatives would come in and put a new meter or a new transmitter on top of the meter for you so that we can pick up your reading. Once we do that, we get an actual reading because your meter is keeping your actual usage inside it. It just isn't transmitting it. So when we get the actual reading, you may owe more or you may owe less, depending on what your account is estimated. We estimate any meter that we can't get a reading, we take your previous year, the 12 months, and average that out. And that's what we estimate for your bill until we get your meter fixed. So they're probably asking you for permission for you to make an appointment for someone to come and fix your meter, and just telling you your bill may change up or down depending on what your meter says when they actually get a reading.
Andrea, I see Jennifer Foster has her hand up.
Hello. Hi, this is for Matt. I just want to add, I have been referring people over to the CAA program, but a lot of people coming back and saying the paperwork is too complicated, or, you know, it's too long. Can you help me out with that so I could add, you know, try to be more patient with them when they go through the paperwork process? I say CAA, go to CAA. The first thing I get is, oh, the paperwork's too long, or it's too long of a process. Can you help me with that?
Yeah, we're happy to help people work through the paperwork. I'll go over the phone with people if need be. It's 3 pages, and one of them, actually 2 of them, are pretty short. The difficulty is getting together a lot of the demographic information. We need to know the details of your family, or everybody who lives with you. It's really not so bad. The hard part is, yeah, there is a very long line for people in line right now. Like I said, that logjam is breaking now. We're hustling now, but yeah, there has been that we have had people waiting months, and we understand that's not how we'd like things to go, and that is changing now. But yeah, I do understand that there is a long wait. But as far as the paperwork goes, we're happy to help talk people through it. And one of the things that we have seen is people have been able to go to other neighborhood organizations and get folks there to help them out with it in person. I know some folks have struggles with technology and getting stuff to us. If you're worried about how you get the documents to us, since we're all working from home. So you used to be able to come into our office, and that's not happening anymore. But you can, if you don't have the capacity to send this stuff to us, if you don't have a lot of technology, you can go to the library to get these things emailed to us. It is okay to take pictures of the documents and send them to us, scanning them. There are a lot of different ways, screenshots, all of our stuff is you can fill out online too. So we're trying to do whatever we can to make it as easy as possible, to give people the most options possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
I see Barbara Baines has her hand up.
Mm-hmm.
Allison. Barbara Baines.
No, am I unmuted?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Hi. I just wanted to ask, when I first came on, they was talking about the water bill, and there was an income guideline for that. Like if you have, and I missed it for one person.
So for Greater Cincinnati Water Works, for our forgiveness program, our eligibility guidelines are based on 200% of the federal poverty level. So you have to be at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. And so we have all of that information that's on the application for household sizes from, 1 to 8, or more. So all of those numbers are on the application. And I saw that Allison posted a link in the chat, which goes directly to more information about the program, as well as where the application can be found and the household sizes, as well as the accompanying household income.
Okay. All right. And I also want to just say hello to Kevin Hart. I used to work at Hamilton County Job and Family Services. I was in child support and cashier's office at 800 Broadway, but I do remember seeing you in the building.
It's a small world. It's great to see you.
Hello. I worked with Christy Snyder.
Alder Johnell, you had a question?
Yes. I was wanting to know, why is the renters being left behind? We pay taxes just like everybody else, and we are experiencing or suffering the same type of thing that everybody else is doing. Don't seem like y'all have anything for the renters. Why is that?
Cincinnati Water Works, our economic hardship water debt forgiveness program is for homeowners and renters. So renters are eligible for the forgiveness program through Greater Cincinnati Water Works, as long as you're responsible for the water bill.
Okay. And I thought I heard one lady said that it wasn't for the renters at all. It was just for homeowners. Was I correct when I heard that, or did I mishear?
For
the one, yeah, with you was with Christine.
For the customer assistance program for MSC, the way the law is written, it's only for homeowners, people who own their homes and are 65 and above.
Okay, so do y'all plan on including renters, or is anybody gonna take a look at that, or why is we being left out?
That would take a state law change in order to include renters.
Okay.
Allison, any more questions? We have time for one more question.
I don't see any on Facebook.
Okay.
And I don't see any more raised hands. So people could just unmute themselves if you've got a question.
Yes, and we have time.
Oh, actually, I see Jennifer Foster's hands up again. But if there's somebody else that wants to ask a question in the last 2 minutes here.
Only question I have, this is for Matt again. I didn't know that the CAA program is still going on. I thought it was over with. So how can we let people know that the program is still out and it's still, you know, getting distributed?
Yeah, originally the Ohio Home Relief Grant money that we had was supposed to run out at the end of last year, and they did extend it, and they waited till the last minute. They really did. We were working round the clock. We were working Christmas Eve, I mean, all this. It was crazy how much we were doing. And then they extended it, and then more money was added to it. So yeah, we're advertising on the radio. We got billboards. We're on social media. And so, you know, we are happy to have people share that. I'm hesitant to do that right now just because our phone number isn't ready yet. But once that is up and running, then we are more than happy to, you know, get people going. We've got a lot of money to spend, and we want to help everybody who's eligible.
If I could be any help to you, I'm in the Avondale community. So if I could be any help to you, I'll put my number in the chat for you. And my email.
Great, and my email's up here too. And, you know, feel free to reach out as well.
Okay, it's about time to wrap this town hall up. I'd like to thank our guests for participating in our town hall and to those of you who attended. We have recorded it and we will post it to the CUFA news section of our website. And I think Allison put that in the chat, but I'm gonna say it, www.cufa.org, as well as on our YouTube channel. On the CUFA website homepage, you can scroll down to explore the issues or use the issues navigation tab to find our coronavirus help page with resources and updates about available assistance. CUFA would like to encourage everyone who is on this town hall to become a member and join our committee to help advance fair housing, sewer justice, and clean, affordable energy. Again, CUFA contact number is 513-853-3947 or CUFA@cufacincy.org for additional questions or to get involved. Thank you again for everybody coming on our town hall. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.